Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Red Dirt and Stardust, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Western and pirate sci-fi campaign. So where last we left the party, they had just collected their reward from Yvonne for returning with all of the copper from Red Tower and selling it off so that they could finally get enough money to fund a water tower for Drake's Ridge. They took their variously named horses and galloped across the landscape to the home of Shawthorn, Turtle Shell Quay, the port city that's on the southern southeastern end of Gold Rush. They met Shawthorn's grandmother, they had a lovely dinner, and decided to spend the night where something decided to attack them. Shawthorn's grandmother, Mildred, revealed that it was a family secret, and it was time that Shawthorn learned. And so we are literally starting with combat as this corpse walks through the door, stretching out its hands as ghosts whirl around the room, knocking around the china and rattling the furniture, and simply says, "Give me the violin." And we're going to roll initiative.
Yay.
15.
15 for Lyla.
No, that's intelligence.
Very close.
We're going to need dexterity.
I got an 8.
9.
That's not even cold.
Chauncey got an 8. Jed got a 9.
Yep.
A little bit, yeah.
I got a 19.
I got
19.
a 19.
All right. And Grandma.
2.
Even with the modifier?
Appropriately.
The modifier is +0.
Oh, lovely. So,
Also appropriately.
Grandma will be going last. I will say Grandma is staying in the salt circle. She is not budging. She is standing over the violin. However, feel free to fling spells and other such things. I will also say she is in a magic circle. She has cast the spell magic circle. It is there. So, first up, which of you, Shaw and Velantrios, has the highest dexterity?
Pretty sure Velantrios.
12.
12 +1.
Dexterity. Where? Intelligence. There we go. 14 plus 2.
Yeah, so that.
All right, so you are going to be going first. You see this corpse walking through the door as well as these ghosts begin to fly around the room. What would you like to do?
Let's
Does
see.
anyone want to ask Grandma why zombies are attacking? Like, excuse
Um,
me, miss.
I think I've got better things to worry about than Branny's violin. But by the way, who is holding the violin?
The
It's still in
violin
the
is-
case.
It's still in the case on the floor. Grandma is Mildred is standing over it. It's in a salt circle, which has
Yeah.
magic circle cast on it.
Okay. Let's see. No, that only counts as a creature. I am going to cast. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to go this fast. It never happens.
Surprise.
And so it's the zombie, right?
Yeah, there's also
Or-
ghosts flying
or
around,
whatever.
but yeah,
Sorry, what?
there's also ghosts flying around.
Oh, ghosts. All right.
Yes.
Do. I'm gonna cast Summon Beast.
Oh, land, sea, or sky is the question.
Let's see. Are these corporeal ghosts? Like, are they affected by physical things?
You haven't tried attacking them, so you don't know.
Yes.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I will do Sky.
All right. So you summon, what kind of bird do you summon? It's not going to affect the stat block, but just what does Velantrios pull out?
All right, so Velantrios pulls out a what are the options? I'm sorry.
It just
A
says
bird.
land, sea, and sky. So
A bird.
sky,
Pick a bird.
pick a bird.
Okay,
What's your favorite
I
bird?
pull out a eagle. I guess.
There you go.
Awesome. So yeah, you conjure your magic and a beautiful eagle appears in the room. And since it is a summon, it goes immediately after your turn unless the spell specifies that it can't.
Yay.
It should go immediately after your turn.
Yep. And then
There should be a stat block attached for the air in the spell.
yes. Sorry, 1 second.
Because the spell specifically uses that stat block.
These are.
Get my calculator out.
Sorry about this.
That's all right.
The beast doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of the enemy's reach, blah blah blah. It's got a strength of 18. Dick,
Wow.
what am I looking for?
Just like the attack roll.
An attack.
If you're making it
Yeah,
if
like-
you're making it attack, it's
So-
got to make an attack roll.
Summon Beast has a maul attack for all 3 modes. It's your spell attack modifier to hit gets added to it. It can hit 5 feet. It's 1d8 plus 4 plus whatever level you cast the spell at and piercing damage.
Okay. Or 30 land and water only plus 5 each spell level above second. I should have just guessed. Okay, so do I just say it's going to attack?
Sure.
Yep.
That was a
Okay, yeah,
multi-attack.
it's going to attack the zombie.
All right, roll the attack
to
as the
attack.
eagle swoops towards this creature and begins to claw at its face.
So let's see. What do I roll?
It'll be
D20.
a D20 plus your spell casting.
Modifier.
Yeah, so for you that'd be wisdom.
And that's strength, right?
No.
No, you're rolling your like what you use to hit with a spell. You roll
Yeah.
that for their attack because you
Okay,
summoned
so-
it. It's how the spell works.
So it's a D20.
Plus whatever your spell attack modifier is.
Your spell
Mhm.
attack modifier would be your wisdom
Oh.
plus your proficiency because you're proficient at casting spells. And since you have the moon sickle as your focus, you add an additional +1.
Plus
Yeah.
8 for him.
Okay, so altogether that's how many plus?
Plus
It would
8
be-
for you.
Oh, it should be 9 if he has a moon sickle, unless he doesn't have max.
Is that
wisdom.
including the moonsicle with the 8?
Yeah, I'm looking at his. Oh, he doesn't have it equipped. So
Oh, he
you
doesn't
don't
plus
have the
9.
moonsicle equipped,
on
so it
there.
would be +9.
Plus
So you just roll a D20 and add 9, and that's the
Okay.
eagle's attack roll.
I got a natural 20, so 29.
All right. So what's the
Yeah,
full
do it.
damage? You said it was a D10?
Some beast.
The damage for the attack.
actions. Sorry, 1 second.
One D8 plus
all
4.
I guess yeah, I guess it's gonna do maul. Weapon attack, your spell attack modifier. What
Mhm.
target spells level? There's just so many numbers.
Oh, it's 1d8 plus 4 plus the spell level. Jesus.
So it would be
Yeah.
8 points of damage. Roll the D8 because we're doing max. So 8 plus a D8 plus the spell's level plus
4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
reading
lot,
it.
yes.
I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I know these
um,
summon creature abilities are insane.
Yeah. You just gotta roll a D8.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I did it at level 2, so 6 plus 2 plus 4.
Uh-huh.
Is that
6
it?
plus 2 plus 4.
Plus 8.
Is 12.
12, yeah.
And then plus 8
For
for
the
the
cleric.
max
20.
damage.
Yeah.
So it's 20 damage.
All right. Not
That's
too
pretty
shabby.
good for a bird.
It's a good start.
It's pretty good for a bird.
All right. And it doesn't have
Shit.
multi-attack,
It's
does
pretty
it?
good.
It does have multi-attack.
Okay, so you
Fuck
can make
me.
another claw attack.
It can
Yeah,
only
how many-
be done if it casts at 4th level or higher.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
It only has
I-
okay.
Last campaign, I played with one of the summon spells constantly. You always, for the summon spirit spells, you always take half the spell's level. That's the number of multi attacks they have. You cast it at level 2, you only have 1 attack.
It
Yeah.
doesn't say
Oh,
level
okay.
4. It just says the beast makes the number of attacks equal to half of the spell's level.
Yeah, and if
Right.
it's 2, then it makes 1 attack.
Half of 2 is
Oh.
1, half of 3 is still 1 because it rounds down. When you upcast it
So
to level
4
4,
will be 2. Yeah.
that's when you can start
Yeah.
attack.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get used to these kinds of spells. They're relatively new, so don't panic. All right, is there anything else that you'd like to do on your turn?
I guess move closer to the violin.
All right. Yep, you certainly can. Would you like to step inside the magic circle? You can pass through the magic circle. I will say that.
Yeah, I'll move past inside the magic circle.
All right, so you sidle up next to Grandma in the magic circle. All right.
I got you,
And
Granny.
Shaw, it'll be
Okay.
you with
Uh,
Lyla on deck.
15-foot cone in front of me. How many could I hit without hitting friends? Realistically.
Assuming that everybody is kind of in the same formation that they came down the stairs in, you can basically sidle up like right in line with Grandma and hit everything in front of you without hitting your allies.
Okay, we'll do a Frost Fingers con 14 save. I'll cast at 3rd level.
All right, I'll be
And
making.
maybe like, Granny's on, what's happening?
All right, it's a Constitution, you said.
Yep.
Does a 14 pass?
Yeah, it's 14 is the DC.
Okay, and then the next one. Oh, it doesn't have any Constitution. Oh, it only got a 5. Okay.
Max damage is 17 halved if they succeeded.
All right. So half of 17.
At 8.
8.
Yeah.
'Cause we
Yes,
round
it would
down,
be
right?
8. It would be 8. And then
And I don't know if it matters, but any non-magical liquids is in that cone freeze.
there's
enough.
no
I figured
liquids
it
in
didn't
the
matter.
cone. All right. So Lyla, it is your turn.
Okay. I think we're also gonna go AoE. Let's see
Nice.
what we're gonna do. Yeah. Fairy Fire.
All right.
And that's gonna be Dex.
Yes.
Mm,
So the first one gets a 9. And the second one gets a 4, so they both fail, and they're both fairy fired.
Yep. Yep. Oh, 20. That's a 20-foot cube. I was hoping to get the guy too.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only 2.
There's only
That's
2
the
creatures.
total count. Oh, okay.
There's only
all
2
right.
creatures.
I bunch of ghosts. Okay, yeah, never mind. All right, so yeah, that'll do.
It's one
and
stat
then
block. It's like a swarm.
oh, okay.
Where it's like it's a
okay.
bunch of like it's one stat
It's-
block, but it's like
it's
2,000
a
crows.
bunch of ghosts.
Yeah.
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 I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
I
The
didn't want to.
singular
Yeah.
cherubim.
Yes.
Okay. Then bonus action, we will bardic inspiration. We're gonna give it to Chauncey. Seems appropriate.
All right.
And then yeah, we'll also move into the salt circle.
All right. So the salt circle has a 10-foot radius. So
Just like lift up her skirts, trying not to smudge it. Like
yeah. Stepping carefully over the salt circle. Yeah. All
backing
right.
away from the ghost swarm. Just gonna chill.
Don't want to get plasma on your dress.
Yeah.
So next up is the swarm of ghosts.
Oh, fun.
Yay!
It's going to fly forward, and the only person that it can hit, because it can't hit Velantrios, who's in the magic circle, it can't hit Lyla, who's in the magic circle, it cannot hit Grandma,
Right.
who's in the magic circle. The next person that it can hit is Shaw,
Yay.
as the ghosts swarm towards you.
All right, babe.
All good. I've abandoned you before.
Does a 21 hit?
Yeah.
All
Hang on, let me
right.
think.
I was like, will shield help? No.
The claws in the mist pass through you as you feel this cold creeping onto you, and you are going to be taking. Oh no.
Great. This is another fight where I go down
21
instantly.
points of psychic damage.
Cool. I hate that.
Talk about
But that is the only attack it gets.
Oh, thank God.
Um,
Yeah, there's
however,
just blood pouring out of my
is
nose now.
um, the zombie is going to walk into the room, and he is going to walk up to the edge of the magic circle and put his hand on the glowing aura that is coming off of the salt. And so you see his hand, it can't pass over the salt.
Mimo.
Give me the violin. We do this every year. And you're not getting it this year. And that's the
Every
end of
year.
his turn.
Velantrios is like, I'll give you a breath mint.
Oh yeah, this smells. This is literally a corpse. Smells awful. So next up is Jed with Chauncey on deck and ending on Mildred.
All right. I guess I will do a flaming sphere and smack the zombie with it.
All right. So it's a
Just
deck
do
save.
Dex DC 16.
Yep, it got a 16. So it takes half damage,
Rats.
I think.
Yeah. 8 half to 4.
Well,
And I'm gonna step in their magic circle.
And we're all just
The
crowded.
magic circle is getting a little crowded as everybody's trying to huddle into the magic circle. The Tressum are kind of yowling as they're like running in between everyone's legs.
Answer yourself.
Miss Mildred, I think we'd all be real curious about what's going on.
I will tell you later after we deal with this. And then it is going to be Chauncey.
Okay. Well, first things first, like would Chauncey wear his armor to bed when he's not camping out or not? I don't know.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll a percentile die. If it's above 50, he did. If it's below 50, he didn't. Is that cool?
Yep.
Oh, he didn't wear his armor to bed. Awesome.
Fabulous.
So great.
He's just naked.
He's wearing a nightshirt. It just ends at the
long
calf.
sleeping cap as well.
Yeah.
I
Very
love that.
tasteful. Very tasteful.
But I mean, he's still got a hammer, so we're gonna swing at it.
At the zombie.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the zombie. There's a fairy fire, so everything has advantage.
Yes.
And I have a bardic inspiration I can burn if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
You can also use it
Chauncey's-
for damage and healing spells too.
Oh, Chauncey's first swing at the zombie with advantage is a 25 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits. That hits easily. He doesn't even have armor on. It's just skin and tatters of clothes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you need me to separate any of my damage dice or no?
No, because you're only doing magical bludgeoning and fire damage, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. You don't need to separate.
Okay, so 12 plus that's 17 damage on that hit.
All right.
I'll
Ouch.
swing at him again.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a dirty 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
Voice.
That's less damage. Let me think here. That's 14 damage on that hit.
All right. Yep, that hits.
And Lovey May is a bonus action. She's gonna try to boot it. She only gets a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, cool. Oh. Get in the dice box. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, sick. Let me double check Steel Defender real quick. I think I add my proficiency, not my intelligence, but where are we? Battlesmith and Empowered Ren, D8 plus proficiency. Okay, so that is 11 points of force damage on that one.
Awesome. All right.
And I don't think there's probably any room to go in the magic circle. So
No, not really.
out here.
All right. So now it's Grandma Mildred's turn. What would Grandma Mildred like to do?
Grandma
Mima!
Mildred, she's gonna cast Spirit Guardians around the magic circle, and it's gonna be little trestles.
Of course it is. Yep, she
Um,
touches her holy symbol, and there's the sound of cathedral bells as bursting out of her, playfully leaping through the air, are hundreds of golden tressum that just fill the room. She casts Spirit Guardians.
and it won't matter until their turn.
Right. But it is difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Now for them. Yes. All right, so we are back up to the top with Velantrios and Shaw on deck.
Okay. I am going to cast. Where is it? Protection from good and evil.
On
On Chauncey. Oh wait, no, not Chauncey. Shaw. I'm gonna cast it on Shaw since he was just attacked.
Thanks.
If you cast that, you will lose your spirit, just so you know.
Oh, I will.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Oh,
They're
because
both
it's they're
concentration
both
spells.
concentration. You can't concentrate on two
Yeah.
concentration spells at the same time.
Yeah. Don't do
There
that.
goes that. Listen, I'm a very concentrated person.
So we're keeping the eagle.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so instead I'm just gonna cast Guiding Bolt on the zombie.
Cool.
That'll do.
Cast. And then click. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
Yay. And then that is going to be 15 damage.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, he's starting to not look so hot. And next up is
My burb.
your eagle.
Yes. Yes. There we go. So it's going to be the D20, right?
Yes.
20
Um,
plus the what?
your spell attack modifier,
Mm-hmm.
which I think was 9.
Yeah. So 4 plus 9, so 20 something. 22 was it?
Jeez.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 14, and then 14 plus 9.
23. Yeah.
23. Thank you.
Yeah.
23 points of damage.
23 to hit?
23 to hit.
You already
No,
rolled the hit.
I already rolled to hit. This is the damage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, the damage was 1d. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. 1d8
plus
4.
2 plus
You're not
4.
getting the extra 8 because you didn't crit this time.
Yeah. So you
Yeah,
just
so
roll.
it's 1d8 plus 6 is what
1d8 plus 6. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So that is gonna be 1d8 plus 6, so 14 damage.
Oh wow, you rolled an 8. Nice.
All right.
My bird is just making mincemeat of this thing.
Your
I
brain's
know.
doing work,
It kind of is, actually.
Oh.
So, Shaw, it is your turn.
Great, awesome. I'm gonna chill touch. Yeah, I'll just cast chill touch at it. Does a 24 hit?
What are you hitting?
The zombie.
Yes, it does hit.
5. 5 necrotic damage, but it has disadvantage on attacks against me.
All right. And as your little tiny Tressum paw goes out and boops it on the nose, it doesn't do as much damage as you think it should. So that's gonna be, yep.
I'm just imagining the Tressum being like really pissed off, like, how dare you not take damage?
All right. So that is all right. And so then Lyla, and then we have the monsters.
Okay. Let's see what Miss Lyla is gonna does. Hmm, 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 hmm. Let's yeah, let's hex the zombie.
All right. Zombies just hexed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I guess we'll do disadvantage on strength. Let me cast that.
And that's just skill checks, right? It doesn't transfer over to
Yeah,
attack rolls. Okay.
just ability checks, yeah.
Okay.
And then we are going to vicious mockery that
Oh,
wretched, filthy thing. Yeah.
according
Oh,
to a
leveled spells.
yeah, well, not leveled
Yep.
spells, 2 concentration spells.
Oh, wait, what?
So either fairy fire or hex.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we'll drop the fairy fire. I'm cool on that.
All right. The glow goes away on these, on the ghosts and on the zombie.
Yeah. We'll drop fairy fire. That's fine. I'm
So what
still
does
gonna go ahead
Lila's
and vicious
hex
mockery.
look like? Just because
Hmm.
it's definitely not going to look like what other people's hexes might look like.
For sure. Okay, so let's say Lila's hex and we're doing strength. So she would probably do something like a little whisper, almost like she whispers into her hand and like collects it up and blows it at him. And it's kind of like a, I don't know, maybe like a purple dust sort of a thing floats over to him.
All right.
Very Disney.
Yes, yeah. We're going like a little Maleficent kind of a situation.
Yep.
Okay. And then yeah, vicious mockery, so I'm gonna need a whiz.
26.
Yeah, I feel like that'll do it.
I rolled a natural 20 on
Yeah,
that
obviously.
wisdom saving throw.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
well-
Did you say the zombie has high wisdom?
You rolled a nat 20.
Still, there should be like a -12.
No, they're pretty wise. Not very smart at all.
I mean,
Well,
they've
this
lived an
one
entire
is.
lifetime, so.
Well, also, yes, this is a relative zombie. We know this zombie. We know of this zombie. Well, Jed knows of this zombie.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for me. That's all I got.
All right. So, yep, it's to the monsters. The first one, the swarm of ghosts, this time begin to whisper in your ear, Shaw, and remind you of a particularly sad and traumatic memory of your past. What moment would that be? Describe that for us.
It would probably be Shaw on the docks waving goodbye to his parents as their ship goes off into the vortex.
All right.
Ouch.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw as that memory is pulled forward. And you feel the pain and sadness.
11.
That does not succeed. So you're going to be taking a bit of damage. Pooh boy.
Oh no.
let's see. I rolled relatively low. Wait, maybe I didn't. Oh, no, I didn't. So that's going to be 21 points of psychic damage.
Shaw just collapses.
Okay. Yep, you watch as Shaw just collapses, but it seems there are echoes as the ghosts
Oh
all
my.
begin to whisper. And for a moment, I'm going to say, Lyla, Velantrios, and Chauncey, who have done the most damage to it, you all feel this memory, the sadness of this memory waft off of Shaw's corpse as he collapses to the ground, maybe even getting glimpses of it. And you all are going to be taking, the three of you are going to be taking 20 points of psychic damage as this wave of
Holy-
sadness washes over you.
Jesus.
Wow.
All right, and that is the end of the ghost's turn. As the zombie is going to run round to the... Oh, wait, no, he's not going to run round because Chauncey is right in front of him. So he is going to punch you twice. Wait, actually. You know what? He's not used to combat because reasons. So he is going to turn and his eyes glow as he glares at you, Chauncey, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
17. I rolled a 19 minus 2.
All right. It seems like he's trying to project this aura of fear onto you. You feel your body begin to lock up, but you shake it off. You've been pummeling the crap out of this thing. You don't need to be afraid of it. You don't need to lock up in fear. You can deal with this, and you are not paralyzed. And that's the end of its turn. And so then we are going to Jed with Chauncey on deck and ending with Mildred.
Also, since it ended its turn in my orb radius, it needs
Oh,
to give me an
yes.
orb roll.
What is that orb roll?
Is 16 dex.
You and your orbs.
Mm-hmm.
It got an 18.
Well,
It's
fuck
Old
me.
Faithful.
Does it take damage?
9 half to 4.
I would like to know,
Um,
like, by the end of this campaign, how much damage your flaming
How
sphere-
much am I gonna get with this orb, baby? I'm gonna run
Yeah.
with this.
The orb. All right, so yep, that's the end of
Um,
its turn, and Jed, it is
I'm
your
gonna
turn
look
officially.
at I'm gonna look at Granny and say, "Can I trust you to get your grandson back on his feet, or do I need to do that?"
Uh-oh, does the priest not have healing spells?
It
It's
does.
touch.
Oh, she won't leave.
Oh,
All right.
Wait,
Crap.
didn't she drop a Spirit Guardians on her last turn?
yes,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is going to have to make a save.
It has to make.
Oh,
she could
you're
be
right.
dealing damage to it, maybe depending on where the ghosts are, even the ghosts too.
Oh, yes, the ghost will, so yes.
That's 3d8 radiant damage.
I think it has to make a saving throw first, but the zombie rolled a 5.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
Is it like something wild like
Wisdom?
charisma? Wisdom? So Ghost's got a 16.
They have to be a 18.
All right, so Ghosts failed, and Zombie definitely failed. So they're going to be taking full damage from that Spirit Guardians as the Tressa
14
whirl around them. 14 points.
of radiant damage.
Woof. Let me check to see if there's any vulnerabilities. No. All right. So
Right.
now, Jed, it is your turn.
Yes. We're gonna do a second level guiding bolt on the zombie.
All right.
It's almost a nat 20, but it's a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Cool. That's 18 radiant damage. So conjures
You,
fiery ball and slam it with it, and it's wreathed in glowing flames.
as you do, he yells, "No!" as he completely burns to
Oh,
ash
cool.
in the light.
I
But the
did
ghosts-
it. Just
but
me.
But the ghosts seem to whirl
Uh-huh.
more violently, as they are still in the fight.
Oh, the ghosts are
Wonderful.
upset. Awesome.
So it is Chauncey. It is your
Not
turn.
quite. I have a bonus action, and
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
use that to do a healing light.
Thank you.
There you
And
go.
we're gonna do 5 of them all at once.
Oh,
Jesus.
all 5 of your healing light dice?
Yep.
Okay.
Might
All
as
right.
well.
Cool.
You can regain 24
fuck.
hit points.
That's almost all my HP.
As you off the ground. All right. So now, Chauncey, it's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna start swinging at the spirits, the ghosts.
Mhm.
First hit is a 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
16 points of damage.
Oh, yeah, you took a good chunk of health off of these. The flames almost seem to burn like steel wool through the ghosts as you watch individual ones pause and burn up as the rest of them flee for a moment before flying back to where they were.
I'm gonna take another whack at him, and the next one is a 21 to hit.
Oh my god, that hits.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
oh god, this is almost minimum damage. Gross. So that's 9
Ooh.
points of damage on that hit.
Oof.
I rolled 1, 1, and 3,
Oh no.
plus the modifier to hit. Or all my intelligence modifier. And Lovey May's attack.
Woo.
She got a 22 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
She'll be dealing 5 force damage with that one.
All right. All right. And is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right. We go to Mildred. What would Mildred like to do?
Guiding bolt.
Certainly can. As she raises her cane and gives the sweep through the air, a beam forms and fires out from it into the ghosts.
19 plus some stuff.
Yep, that'll hit.
15 plus some stuff.
It'll be wow, that's a good roll. 15 radiant damage.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of these ghosts just burn up in the golden flames of the beam.
Or else kicking ass.
And we are back up to the top with Velantrios. There are very few ghosts. The howling has stopped. The china has stopped rattling, but there's still some ghosts flying around attempting to claw their way into something. So, what would you like to do?
So Velantrios follows Mildred's action, raises his hands, and a bright flash of golden green light shines out of his hands, and he casts Guiding Bolt.
At advantage.
Awesome. Roll the attack roll with advantage because it is they were hit with a guiding bolt.
18
That'll
plus
hit.
advantage, whatever that is.
You roll
And-
again and take the higher total. So always
Oh.
roll again when you have advantage, especially if you didn't get a crit, because that's crit fishing. Crit fishing is always a good habit.
Another
Of course,
18.
it's the exact same roll.
The fact that you have a +8 to hit, though, Jesus.
So 18, which we know
Hits
succeeds.
the ghosts. So roll
Yep.
damage. There is a good possibility that you're going to kill these things.
Oh my
Dirty
god.
20.
That's a lot of damage.
Yep. They had 9 hit points left. So the ghosts burn up in the golden green flames of your guiding bolt, and you are officially out of combat. As the room quiets down, Mildred takes a moment before the salt circle goes out.
I just want to point out we've had one combat where Shaw did not go down.
Squishy wizard. But you're back up and you're almost at full health.
Granny needs to feed him some more greens.
Yeah.
Speaking of Granny, Mildred definitely hobbles over to a chair. Ugh, I gotta sit down. And she sits down in a chair. Well,
Miss Mildred, you know what I think it's about time for?
Some explanations.
And some tea,
yes,
thank you.
yes. Well, if somebody could get this tea started, I'm not really in the state to do it myself right now. But
Go on then, Shaw.
I'll go
Don't
who's
worry,
going to the
bossing
kitchen to
up.
make tea,
I'll go get some tea started as I hobble over to the kitchen.
dragging
Already bossing the hubby.
Go on. He'll be all right.
Well, when I
It'll
was a
work out.
young
I've seen him go
girl,
through worse.
When I was a young warthog.
oh my goodness. When I was a young girl, I had a brother. He played the violin, and he wanted to be a bard. Not a bard that told heroic tales necessarily, but one that brought comfort to people who had loved ones that had passed on and they could not. Uh, and so he got into talking with spirits and things like that, trying to calm them down, and as well as calming the living as well. But it seems he might have made an enemy on the other side, so to speak. And one day, those spirits came and dragged him away. The only thing left was his violin.
So you could say
And
he did not make friends on the other side.
no, he certainly did not. And every
Now he
year,
shows up once a year to get his violin.
yes, but he has clearly been corrupted by whatever has taken him on the other side, and so I couldn't let him have the violin. His violin was powerful. It was what he used to speak with the dead, and while I don't think anyone else can use it besides him, it wouldn't be a good idea to let him have it.
Could I take a look at that real quick?
Well,
And-
I guess so. And she pulls from one of her pockets on her dress an iron key that she unlocks the case with and opens very carefully and very carefully picks up this unnaturally black violin and passes it over to you.
Chauncey's just gonna adjust. He's gonna ritual cast Identify while we do stuff because he wants to get a more in-depth feel about this violin.
All right.
By the way, Granny, why is it this day of the year?
Well, it was the day that he was taken, and I must have lost track of time. Usually I remember, but I'm getting older, and it's been, probably about 50 years that he's been coming every year, and sometimes those years just kind of roll together. It's hard to keep track.
Perception check.
And you per
Perception check?
Insight.
Yeah.
Oh, insight. Insight. Yeah, insight's a little different.
Granny, how did you manage to keep this from me for this long?
30-20.
and why?
She is telling the truth. This is just genuinely what she believes.
Okay.
Well, You were always out with friends, or your parents before they disappeared would take you on a trip around this time somewhere else. And when you got older and you started going off on your own, it always conveniently landed in that time frame.
Hmm. Well, and so you what? Just been holding him back by yourself all these years?
So far, yes.
Hmm.
That's why I got the salt. That's why I got the magic box. He wouldn't be able to get into it. But even so, I have the salt so I could get a little magic circle and put it inside there and stand inside so he can't hurt me. Poor Eric.
Well, more power to you, Miss Mildred. Woman of the hour here. Shaw, where's that tea at?
As Shaw hobbles back in, probably with a chamomile tea,
Yeah, here you
just because
go,
y'all
Miss
are gonna go to
Lyla,
sleep.
Grandma.
Sleepy time tea.
Yep. Well, I certainly think we should have a nice cup of this tea. We're going to go back to bed, and in the morning, I'm going to take you to the tortoiseshell tea room so we can have lunch
Oh
or
yeah.
brunch. I'm sure you'll quite enjoy the peace and quiet.
Some peace and quiet does sound real nice.
Sounds real nice.
Especially after all the moaning and groaning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well. So I would say that at this point, Chauncey, your identify spell goes off. Um, this violin can only be used by Eric. There is no way for anyone else to use it. But it does keep back ghosts or command them to do things.
Hmm.
So he can either prevent them from coming closer to him, or he can use his action while playing to command the ghosts to do something, the ghosts in the surrounding area to do something. Whether it's attack, whether it's flee, whether it's go back to the nether realm, other things of that nature. But only Eric can use it. Anybody else that tries to use it is going to take massive psychic damage.
Hey, Lyla, why don't you play some tea?
I'm glad I had almost told Lyla to try it out. I'm glad I did not.
Yeah. You think that I would think it would be a good idea to mess with a big old black violin sitting up in a glass case on a shelf for 50 years?
Yeah. So Chauncey's just like, I don't think anyone should really try playing this anytime soon. It's
But Lyla is such a grand performer.
Well, we all know that, sweetheart, but there's a time and a place for everything.
Lyla's more of a vocalist, anyways.
And don't forget a dancer.
I've been considering destroying it, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It's the last little piece of Eric that I have. But perhaps it is time that we move on.
Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I just looked at the page before of notes and I had a 20 and a 19 portent die for today.
Yeah, I was wondering where those
Well,
were
you
like
know
the whole
what?
fight.
You know what? I'm going to let you keep those because your long rest has been interrupted. So I'm just going to let you keep those for tomorrow. Not that you're necessarily
Cool.
going to need them, but I'll let you keep them for tomorrow.
Oh, thanks.
I will
All
be
right, well,
generous and nice, especially since I
Velantrios.
beat the crap out of your character.
Okay. Um, Velantrios is going to stand up and he's like, well, I don't know about you, but I could really go for some sleep right now. And he folds the robe that he's wearing right now closer around him.
I'm right behind you.
Yes, I certainly need to get upstairs and get my beauty sleep. It's been quite a while And she kind of gets up and finishes her tea.
Mm.
I'll put it in the sink tomorrow. And just leaves the cup on the table before beginning to hobble over and up the stairs, significantly slower than what she raced down the stairs at.
Lyla will help her. She's gonna help her
Oh,
up
why,
there.
thank you, my dear,
Oh,
as you two
cool.
make your way up the stairs.
I'll do the dishes real quick.
Yeah, that's probably good.
So yeah, you all have a lovely long rest, very deep sleep. You probably wake up a little bit later than you might have been hoping. It's probably around 10 in the morning at this point, as the sunlight streams the windows and you hear the clopping of horse carts and people milling out on the streets. And
Before we start the day, I believe Lyla and I said that we were sharing a room.
Y'all
Oh,
are.
yeah, I think we did.
And
Yeah.
as we start getting ready, I want to have a conversation with her.
all right.
Sure.
Where I kind of just uh I'm putting my clothes on and everything, and I kind of just like stop, turn around, and you watch these flames flicker on Virgil's face, and they all burn away and reveal the tiefling covered in tattoos underneath them. And he says,
Oh,
Lyla, I think it's
good
about
morning.
time we had a talk.
Well, what did you have in mind?
I I appreciate you being uh a good help in keeping certain secrets of mine a secret. Even if you don't fully understand them, I appreciate discretion.
Ain't none of
Um,
my business to share.
and I feel much the same. I I don't think most women of your proclivities have goblins trying to kill them out of nowhere, but far be it
Hmm.
from my place to ask questions where they don't belong.
Yeah, very strange that. Very strange.
So I think you and I can come to less of a formal agreement and more of just a friendly gesture towards one another, that we continue to cover each other's backs when needed.
Well, not like I have any huge scary skeletons in my closet, but of course.
Wonderful. And if you wouldn't mind, my patrons bestowed upon me a new ability that I would love to share with you. If you wouldn't mind, I hold out my arm and kind of try to shake your hand. All this is going to do is let me communicate with you anywhere, anytime.
Oh, well, all right then.
I take your hand and you watch your name get etched in fire and burn into my skin.
Oh, you have the yeah, I know
Our
what ability.
scribe.
Yep. You can cast
Yes.
sending.
So I am
Oh,
now able to
cool.
cast sending to Lyla for free whenever I want.
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Yep.
Well, I hope this can be a fruitful partnership.
Well, certainly hope it's a bit more fruit than we've come across in this town so far.
Definitely. And I put the illusion back up of Virgil and head downstairs.
You have
All
yourself a good
right.
morning, preacher.
And you as well.
So Mildred is, of course, downstairs. She was probably the first one up. Um, she's already dressed, not quite in Sunday's best, but she certainly has dressed up a little bit. Um, and she's waiting in the living room. Well, it's time for us to head on over. Don't worry about it. It's going to be my treat. We're going to be going over to the Tortoise Shell Tea Room. I'm sure you all will enjoy this place immensely. Um, so let's get going. It's only a short walk away. And she gets up and begins to walk out the door. She takes a little handbag with her. And she gives each of the little Tressums a pet before they run back into the house, and she walks out onto the front porch.
Oh, and I'll retcon a quick. Let's store fairy fire this time.
All right, and your ace up your sleeve. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you all head out onto the street, and as you are walking along, um, you notice there's a corner shop that has a greenhouse attached to it. The windows of the shop have some beautiful dresses and hats in the window, and it has Flora and Wilma's written on it. And coming out the front door is a tall elven woman who has a sort of broad sun hat as and a white sort of sundress and ballet flats on as she shuts the door and, oh, well, hello, Miss Zann. Yes, it's lovely to see you again, Flora. How's Wilma? Oh, Wilma's doing great. I think she's probably gonna, and then opening the door is a dwarven woman who walks out. Oh, hi, Miss Zann. Hello, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing just great. I'm going to go down to the market and see if there's any seeds that have been imported from any faraway lands. Oh, well, that sounds delightful. And of course, I'm going to get some extra ribbon. Made quite a few hats and kind of ran out of it. Well, it is lovely to see you. And she waves as the two of them begin to walk off. Um, I would like anyone who would like, just anyone, perception check. You do not have to make this perception check, Shaw.
Oh, done.
Only if you want to.
Absolutely.
No.
There we go.
Okay, well, that's a 12.
That's a 9.
Got a nat 20, 23.
All right. As you're kind of looking between the two of them, you notice something very strange. Despite the fact that one is an elf and one is a dwarf, if they were both the same race, you'd probably think they were identical twins. They have almost the exact same face.
Weird.
But you continue
This
to
is
walk
just
along.
like what happened last campaign when I noticed Arthur's twin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I'm
right.
just good at seeing
brother.
twins.
All right. Yeah, so you head along, and finally you reach the tortoiseshell tea room. And she opens the door, and there's a little ding ling 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 as the bell rings. And you see,
That smells delightful.
oh, it definitely smells like tea. It smells like baked goods. It smells like brunch stuff. You get a little bit of bacon, a little bit of sausage, all of this stuff. And it is definitely a little bit higher quality than just tavern food. And you walk in, and it is dark wood, chintzy wallpaper, beautiful tables covered with teapots and little tiered trays. It's very clearly in the middle of a tea service or some sort of brunch service. There are only 2 or 3 other what look like older couples or older just groups of people sitting. There's probably about 7 people in the restaurant in total. So it's clearly not very busy. And standing at a sort of small desk up front is a elven man filing his nails with a mop of curly hair on his head in a very fine looking like suit, waiter's outfit. Shaw, you would know this as Dunstan Tap. It seems that he is hosting today. As he looks bored out of his mind as he's just filing his nails before he finally looks up and, oh, Good morning. How are you all doing today? Nice to see you again, Miss Zann. And he shakes her hand. And of course, lovely to see you again, Shaw, and gives you a big
Hi,
wink.
Dunstan.
Oh, you kiss him?
No, I was just
Oh,
like, hi, Dunstan.
oh, I heard kiss him, and I'm like, whoa, okay. New information. Yep.
Just a baby crush.
And I see you've brought some lovely people here with you. Are you all here for the tea service?
Please.
Yes.
Wonderful. Of course, Miss Zann being our lovely and most trusted customer, we have the VIP lounge just for you all. And he leads you up. There's like a little small, like 3 or 4 step sort of thing up to a raised. It's not quite a balcony. It's not quite a room, but it's not quite a balcony.
Gotcha.
Where there is a table that it's a little more private. There is a curtain you can draw, but there's also like a railing to keep people from falling off the edge, and
Well, this is just darling.
Is
it
there
is
a
very
breeze?
lovely. Huh?
Is there a breeze?
This is inside.
Okay.
It's an inside architectural element. And he's like, well, are you all looking for a savory tea service or a sweet tea service?
Yes, please.
All right. And of course, Mildred speaks of, well, it is my treats, and we do have a lot of hungry mouths to feed, so we might as well do one of each. All right, that'll be 2 gold. I'll let you pay at the end as usual. And I will go off and I will get that. And he walks off.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's been so long since I've had a proper tea with a lady.
Yes, I think this is the best tea house on this side of, well, this side of anywhere. Um, I'm quite the loyal customer. I come here almost every Sunday, but of course this is a special day now that I have my grandson back, and she pinches your cheek. Um, and yeah, you actually see another server come up. This is going to be Dorothy. Her curly hair is pulled into a ponytail. She's wearing a similar sort of waiter's outfit. It seems that these outfits are um pretty gender neutral, and she's wearing the exact same one. She comes up. Oh, well, hi, Miss Zann. It's lovely to see you again. I just wanted to come out and say hi. And of course, hi, Shaw. How are you doing?
Hi,
Went on any more
Dorothy. How's Charles?
adventures? Charles is doing well.
The biggest of
Um,
adventures.
oh, well, I'd be excited to hear. I think I'm getting off a little bit early today to go and see Charles. So maybe if you have like 15 minutes, you could tell me something after work.
I would love that.
Wonderful. Well, it shouldn't be too much longer. We've been really whipping up the tea service in the back, so it shouldn't be more than maybe 5 minutes. Wonderful. And she ends up heading off to the back.
Friend of
Um,
y'all?
You
I
do seem
know a
rather
lot of
popular around
people.
here, Shaw.
It's more gr Granny's popular. I just come along for the ride.
Well, I can see why. She's delightful.
and about 7 minutes pass before the two of them, as they come out, they're very clearly brother and sister. Um, it's
Oh,
obvious now that you see them side by side. They are brother and sister as they come out with the pots of tea and the various different tiered plates as they come out, and they set them down. And yeah, there's all kinds of sweets. There's croissants and little pastries. There's things like sausage and a little bit of toast with some cream cheese and jams and things like that. And there is definitely plenty of tea to go around, as well as sugar and honey and um, cream. It is absolutely and utterly delightful. Um,
So
And you,
Velantrios, while spreading some jam on some toast with cream cheese, he's like, "So, Granny, perhaps you could tell us more about your fine town."
well, there's certainly a lot to see. Um, there's that bistro that opened up down the street from, oh, the other direction. A fine young gentleman, loves pasta and makes all kinds of it. Um, and then of course there's my old friend Gertrude. She runs an antique shop, but she isn't. I don't think she's open today. She's been cutting her hours lately. She's been needing more sleep. And of course you met Flora and Wilma. Um, they run a flower shop and a boutique. So if you need a lovely hat, and she kind of turns towards you, Lyla. Of course, if you need a lovely hat or a bouquet for a nice, lovely gentleman or lady, they're definitely the people to go to. I think they're the best on this side of anywhere. Um, and that's really where all I go. I'm sure there's tons of other places up here, but I'm old and I don't walk as much as I used to, so of course there's plenty of adventure down at the dock, as I'm sure Shaw can tell you. I don't go down there personally. It's a little too rickety down there for my liking, and my cane always gets stuck between the boards, but it seems like a nice place, or at least somewhat of a nice place on certain days.
Well, we will be sure to check that out.
Yes, I
Yes.
heard down there was a nice lovely place that sells clams and oysters. Oh, what was it? I've heard some great
Mm,
reviews of it from some of the neighbors that bought some oysters from it for a party they were hosting. Uh,
mm, how
quite
lovely.
lovely. Yes, I can't think of the name. It's slipping my mind.
Don't you worry about a thing.
Well, I think I know you all are trying to. Are you all trying to get a ship? I think you
Something
may have mentioned
thereabouts.
it.
That is the plan, Granny.
Yes. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of ships available down at the dock, but from what I heard, and definitely from what we encountered last night, maybe taking a day to walk around the city and just enjoy yourselves for a little bit, take a little bit of a break, and maybe tomorrow go and commission that ship. Um, might be a little bit easier on your bodies.
Hmm.
You're young, but you gotta treat your body well. I know that, as she kind of pats her knees.
Ain't that the truth, Miss Mildred? Ain't that just the truth?
And unless anybody has any other conversations, you do definitely finish your brunch. Um, and at this point,
Oh, it's divine.
as you all are kind of getting up, and Dunstan and Dorothy come and begin clearing the table, a very well-dressed old turtle comes waddling out. You, of course, would know this as Amelad Muller. He is the owner of the Tortoise Shell Tea Room. And he comes out and, well, it's nice to see you, Shaw. I heard you were back in town. Of course, I can't let your grandmother pay without saying hi to her at least once, especially since she comes here so often. But I just wanted to say hello to you as well.
It's good to see you, Mr. Amalon.
Well, I have some more books to get to. Books don't balance themselves, especially checkbooks. So I'm going to get
You
back to
have a
that, but I
lovely
just wanted to
shop.
say, oh, well, thank you very much. I worked very hard to get it the
Mm.
way that it was.
Well,
Well,
we thank you for your
hopefully,
hospitality.
of course, hopefully we'll be seeing you all soon again.
Of course.
And of course, Dunstan goes to the back, but Dorothy kind of pauses at the kitchen and turns and, I get off at 1 o'clock. So if you have that 15 minutes.
I'll see you then.
Right. And she
Bye,
darts back
Dunstan.
in.
Oh my god.
And he leans out, bye, and gives you another wink as he goes back into the kitchen.
Mr. Shaw, do you have yourself a little crush?
Just a little crush.
Well, tell me all
Maybe
about
crush.
it. I must know everything.
Dunstan's a cutie, but Dunstan gets around.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
ain't
you
nothing
remember
wrong with
he
that.
is about probably maybe 3 weeks ago got out of a very disastrous relationship with yet another sailor. It seems to be a pattern. He's the gay guy that every 2 weeks has a new boyfriend for 3 weeks and then breaks up, and it's the
Serial
worst
dater.
breakup
Yeah.
of his life.
They're
Eating ice
absolutely
cream on
in
the
love
couch.
on day 4.
Yep. And then 2 weeks of freedom, and he's got another sailor,
Yeah.
and it ends just as disastrously about 3 to 4 weeks later, crying, eating ice cream on the couch, and then he's back to wilding out. It is just a continuous cycle. You've lost track of how many boyfriends Dunstan has had.
Right.
Dorothy, however, you would remember, she's been going on, I think, 2 years or 3 years with 3 years with Charles. So she is the less disastrous of the siblings. Um,
Dorothy's got her shit together.
yes. Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
Mm.
since we've got some time then, where do you recommend we hit, Shaw?
I would love to swing by the general store. I could show y'all where I picked up the quest to kill the salamander.
All right.
Well,
that sounds
show.
interesting.
Sorry, what was the last
All right.
part?
But I think
My
like 3 different people whispered
yeah,
something.
literally like 3 people
was-
said like the same thing.
It
I
was
didn't
just
hear a thing.
agreement. It was all
Okay.
agreement. It-
Cool.
Yeah.
And of course, your grandma is just, well, if you all are headed down to the docks, then I'm going to head back on home and make sure that my lovely little kitties have something to eat. And I'll let you deal with the lovely streets of the docks.
You be safe getting yourself home, Miss Mildred.
Oh,
Bye,
don't worry
Granny.
about me. And she, goodbye. And she hobbles her way back home. So, yeah, you all begin to head towards the docks. As you pass down the street, you definitely pass by this sort of very fancy looking street. You more of cross it. As you look down, it is absolutely pristine. Like the street that Shaw's grandmother lives on is pretty clean, but this street is pristine. And the shops here doesn't look like they're shops. It looks like they're headquarters of something. Shaw, you would know that this is the promenade where the shipping companies have these secondary offices. Their primary offices are on Ponderosa Prime, but the secondary offices are here in Turtle Shell Quay. And you all walk down, and you see one of the signs that is hanging has a compass with a ribbon coming off of it that spirals and twirls in the wind, and it just says Compass Limited underneath of it. And you see well-to-do looking people walking in and out of these places and around. And you continue down to a very sharp contrast. You walk down these stone stairs that don't really have that good of a railing. You also notice there are tons of cranes that are attached to the stone part of Turtle Shell Quay that go down to this. It's just a wooden dock as far as the eye can see. You can actually, as you get down and start walking across it, there are definitely parts where you see between the slats of the board, blue sky. There is nothing underneath this section of the city unless it is wooden support beams or other things. You are literally one bad wooden board away from dropping into the void. And you can
Well,
definitely
this is a
see,
bit unsettling.
yeah, and there
In
is
heels.
Lyla is walking very carefully across this because it is one wrong move and you could lose a shoe.
See?
Don't worry, Lyla. I'd catch you.
Uh-huh.
The
I'll still
buildings
proceed with caution.
the buildings down here are ramshackle. The roofs sag in various places. Um, the buildings kind of lean this way and that way, and they're all made of wood. The people down here are definitely different than the people up. They're wearing sailors' clothes that are definitely a little bit more raggedy, a little bit more dirty. They're not as fine. They're probably just plain old wool and cotton and other affordable cloth as opposed to silks and satins and velvets and other things of that nature. It is definitely a significant amount more of dwarves and Triton, sea elves. You even see Sahuagin, which don't really come on land all that often. You see crab folk, huge lumbering crab people walking around carrying um various things from back and forth as these people unload ships. It is a very different vibe down here. It is definitely blue collar, working class sort of vibe. And you do make it all the way to the general store, the familiar sagging place right next to the first of the docks that go out. And you see there's a ship kind of bobbing in the air next to this um, long dock that these people are unloading things from. And you open the door, and inside, working, scribbling away, is a older human woman. She does wear like a tricorn hat. Definitely has like a big coat on it. She was probably a captain of a ship at one point, but is no longer. Um, as she gets up and you hear thunk, thunk, thunk as she walks around, and she has a peg leg as
Of
she
course she
comes
does.
towards you. And on her shoulder is a beautiful blue macaw. And she, well, hello, how can I help you?
Miss
Oh,
Kathy.
hello, Shaw. Yes, hello. How are you?
I'm good. Actually, I went and completed that quest. The quest from the quest board. I actually did it.
Oh, well, that's lovely. I didn't get to see who put that up, unfortunately. And the parrot at that point turns, well, you probably should have kept an eye on the board, or at least had someone keep an eye on the board, I swear.
I
Well,
did that. Is that bird?
and at
Hello?
this point, Kathy kind of turns and glares. What? Does Polly want a cracker? No, Polly does not want. Does Polly want a cracker? And she pulls out a cracker. Fine, the indignities I must suffer. And he takes the cracker and flies away. Well,
Is he always like that?
yes, he is always like that.
Hmm.
Um,
Charming.
very business minded, that one, but I like to be a little more personal.
Fair enough. I do as well. How do you do, Madam Lila Devine?
Well, oh goodness, I'm trying to read her name off of this because I forgot to write it down. Well, I'm Kathy McGee. You can call me Pegleg McGee if you'd like. It's what all the sailors used to do before I ended up sinking my boat. Um, but it is
Oh,
lovely to meet you. Are you all in search of hardtack, rope, various
uh,
other shipping
a,
accoutrement?
a vessel, actually, but we came to stop by and see where Shaw had gotten that job. Well, we was the ones what helped him out with that, you see.
Oh, well, that's lovely. I'm glad you got the help. Um, But yeah, there's usually jobs posted on that board over there. Um, Generally, it's just stuff like take this shipping container over to, Pony's Paws or things like that. Sometimes
Hmm.
there's a few monster hunting things up there, and I guess I completely missed whoever put up that one. I probably should have taken it down. But either way, seems Shaw took it before I could investigate it thoroughly, but it seems it turned out to be something.
All worked out for the best.
All right. Well, you said you were in search of a vessel.
Quiet.
Yes.
We're supposed to be going
Yes.
to Creator's Hollow.
Yes, that would be necessary. Oh, paperwork is bloated, all this red tape you got to cut through just to set sail. My goodness. Glad I got out of the shipping business when I did.
Hmm.
Well, you probably don't have enough money to fully charter a ship, I will say. Um,
I'm
How much does it
not
it's
cost?
getting,
certain.
oh, it's pretty expensive. Depending on what you want to do with it. It's only if you're wanting to move to another plate, it's probably maybe close to 100 gold. But if you're planning on going out in the vortex, it could be 10,000 gold on the cheapest end.
Oh,
Yeah, I
huh.
figured you might not have the gold for that.
Well, we
Well,
can
then I suppose we're in the
Maybe we should look for a job at
look
the
for
job
work.
postings.
Well, I do have a little secret that I could share with you that might get you a ship on the cheap. Are you planning on
Do
going into
so
the
like
vortex?
secrets.
Oh, Creator's Hollow's not in the vortex yet. That's
Well,
just another plate.
yes, but afterwards, when you fully charter the ship.
Uh, yeah, I suppose we are, aren't we? Hmm.
Well, you'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely want this then. So I'm sure you're familiar with Tusky's oysters and clams.
Old Tusky.
Tuskies. That must have been what Miss Mildred was saying about.
Yes. Well, and she kind of looks around for a moment, and then she walks over to the door and shuts the door and turns the sign to closed as she kind of comes back. Well,
Bit nervous now.
oh, don't be. It's not, well, it's not that bad. Tusky's his clam business and his oyster business are on the up and up. They're fully legal. You can buy plenty of delicious clams and delicious oysters off of him, and most people do without knowing anything else about him, and that's perfectly fine.
I sense a
But
butt coming.
yes, there is a but coming. He also runs a little smuggling business on the side.
Knew it.
Ah, how enterprising.
Yes. You see, the Nine Winds Trading Company has a little bit of a monopoly on shipping gemstones, and Tusky came into the possession of an emerald mine that he's kept secret. Not even I know the location of it. And so, he'd have to, if he wanted to sell those emeralds, he'd have to go through the Nine Winds Shipping Company. But the Nine Winds Shipping Company has hiked up the prices quite a bit on shipping and traveling and all that stuff. So he decided that, no, maybe steal a few ships here and there, forge some documents, and sail under various trading companies and sell things on the sly.
Hmm. Sounds like a
Well,
smart man, but how's that supposed to help us?
well,
You
he'll do
suggesting
it.
we blackmail him?
No.
Oh, not that I was opposed.
I
You
think
see,
she's suggesting we help him.
yeah, a little bit. I'm sure he has some things that you could do, especially since you're planning on heading into the vortex. He has had crews head into the vortex to get various things for various clients.
Hmm.
Other gemstones, other things. And so, his crews, various crews, aren't unaccustomed to the vortex. And he has the wherewithal and the know-how to forge all the documents to make sure that everything at least appears on the up and up, and he'll certainly give you a cheaper price.
Hmm. Well, personally, I think I like the idea of blackmail more.
So Kathy turns to you, Lyla, and says, well, aside from the fact that he's running a smuggling business, Tusky's rather on the up and up, so I don't think there's going to be much that you'd be able to blackmail him with.
I just said it sounded like more fun.
More fun as it may be, it isn't business. But I highly recommend that you go and you find Tuskies, and you tell him that I sent you, because I know, and he knows that I know. And tell him that you're looking for some emeralds. He'll know what you're talking about. But otherwise, she turns to the door and flips it back to open, and kind of opens the door a little bit again. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
No, I think you've been mighty helpful as it is.
All right. Well,
Appreciate
have a
you
good
having
day.
me.
And she kind of nods and goes back.
Thank you, Miss Kathy. Bye, Polly.
Goodbye, you hear from the back as you hear something that sounds like a cracker hit the floor.
Fire
Yep.
is crazy.
And you are back out into the sunshine.
So where's this Tusky's place at then?
That way?
Yeah. It is, you vaguely know about where this is. It is a kind of tiny
Not my
shack
kind of place.
that's it's weirdly in the middle of a very open area. It's a tiny shack in the middle of a very wide area that people just walk up to and get clams and oysters and things from. And so, yeah, you're pretty easily able to find it. It is a very small shack, like probably only one person would be able to be in it at a time. Um, but the window is closed. It's not locked, but it is closed.
I walk up to the door and knock.
Well, it is more of a window at a counter. So yeah, you knock on the window and the door flies open as leaning out of the window, which you're surprised that this man even fit in the shed, in this little shack to begin with, is a huge walrus wearing a waistcoat. As he kind of leans out, his huge paw-like hand comes down as he kind of situates himself. Well, howdy there. How can I help you?
This is seeming very Alice in Wonderland-esque.
Maybe maybe it is, maybe it's not. Who knows?
Okay.
Walrus in a waistcoat.
Hello, we're here about some emeralds.
Oh, I
Miss
see you must have
Kathy
met with.
sent it.
I figured. Well, if you're here about emeralds, it's going to be a little bit before I can provide you with such a service. So, around maybe 4 o'clock, if you could go to any kind of motions with his giant flipper towards the farthest most dock, there'll be a little rowboat waiting for you, and it'll take you to where you need to go. But I still have it's still around lunchtime, he says, looking at the back of his flipper as if there's a watch there. So if you would like a quick little oyster platter, I'd be happy to provide, but
Ooh, how delightful.
all right, if you do want an oyster platter, a personal oyster platter, that'll be 1 silver piece.
Ain't nothing but a thing here.
Yep, and he pulls back in and he's like shuffles around as you see his flippers go around and you hear the clanging of pots and pans, and eventually comes up with a um little basket, disposable, like card folded with newspaper shoved into it, with about 4 oysters and a lemon wedge, and hands it over to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And he's like, was there anything else that I can do for you today?
Not that we can think of, right, guys?
Guess we'll be seeing you this afternoon.
All right, I will see you all later. And he takes his big flippers and closes the door, closes the window. And you are left with your oysters.
I'm gonna slurp those, but oysters an aphrodisiac, you know. She just says to no one in particular.
Yeah. The oysters are very delicious. They are very fresh. They taste almost as if they've been pulled out of the sea. Like just moments ago. Or well, the sea in Ponderosa, there's no water. It's just open void.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are absolutely and utterly delicious. These are some quality oysters.
Only cost me a silver.
And of course, as you begin wandering around, I'm gonna say it's probably maybe at this point, maybe like 11:30. And as you begin walking, you do see a cart rumbling along in the distance. It seems to be run by this very, very old woman with disheveled, curly hair, ragged robes hunched over as she's squeaking along with this cart. And on it look like pies as she continues trundling along.
Oh my gosh, y'all, it's Bertha's pie cart.
It's a what now?
It's Bertha.
Are you calling after her?
Yes.
Her head whips up. What? Who called my name?
Oh my
And she
God.
has one eye like bugging out of her head. Oh,
I'll just run up.
yep, you run up to her cart. Oh, hi there, Shaw. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Miss Bertha. Can I get a pie?
Yes, it's my special today. It's eel pie.
Delicious.
Oh boy.
Of course, you know the price is 5 copper pieces.
I'll give her 10.
And she hands you 2 eel pies. They're pretty big. They're like, I mean, they're still handheld pies, but they're like pretty big. And she hands you 2 eel pies. Well, is there anything else that I can get for you today?
Y'all gotta try some. Do y'all want to try one of Miss Bertha's pies?
Did you say eel? I'm gonna pass.
Yes, I have eel. I have oyster. I have clam pies. I have flounder and trout pies.
Yeah, I'm still
I'm
all
trying to
nice and
watch my
full
Crab
from
cakes.
tea and crumpets.
Ooh, crab cakes. I'll take your crab cake.
Ooh, well, it's going to be 3 for a copper.
3 for a copper? Okay, sounds good to me.
And you do the exchange. It is literally like palm-sized crab cakes that she hands to you, also in a newspaper that is now soaked with grease. Well, I have more people to see, so unless you're buying, I'm going to be leaving.
Yes,
Happy
okay.
meeting you, Miss Bertha.
Well, have a lovely day. And she starts trundling along. As she walks away, kind of upwind a little bit, you catch she herself just smells like a fish market. Alone,
That's-
one woman fish market. It just slams into you like a wall.
Wow.
I work in a market, so I know what that smell is.
That's
Yep. But it
Beautiful.
seems to not really be coming from the cart as much as it's coming from her.
Oh my god. She needs
It
to take a
seems
bath.
she is the one that smells like fish, less than her cart.
I'm just
And she trundles off into the crowd as people kind of part like the sea as she trundles
Yeah.
through. Her cart, it clearly needs to be oiled.
Yeah. Poor Miss Bertha. What's the story with that one?
Miss Bertha.
As you have an eel pie halfway in your mouth.
She's her pies are famous. There's a lot of stories about Miss Bertha though. I don't know which ones are real at this point.
Well, I do imagine there are plenty. She is quite the character.
A lot of the kids say she's a sea hag, but I don't believe it.
I can.
Smells like one.
Well, that's just word.
Yeah, as Shaw is eating this pie, it's definitely like it looks like it should be a meat pie, but inside it's just black sludge.
Ew.
Oh.
That is very unappealing looking. Are you sure you want to eat that?
It's absolutely delicious.
I am gonna go ahead and take your word for that.
That's disgusting as Velantrios is eating his own crab cake.
The crab cake is actually very well done. It has a lovely sear on it. It has a lovely breading. The sweetness of the crab is balanced out by whatever this universe's version of Old Bay is. It's a very lovely, lovely crab cake. Nice and flaky.
Thank God.
Shit, now I want a crab cake.
I had those for dinner today.
That sounds really good.
Nice.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you would like to do before
Heading to the boat.
Mhm.
I'd love to go to the flower shop.
Yep.
Oh, and I did see a darling hat in that window. I'd love to take another look at.
All right. Yep. So you all head back up, make your way back up onto solid land that is not going to possibly collapse underneath you. And you do manage to make your way back to Flora and Wilma as you kind of open the door to the shop. It's clear that both of them have kind of just gotten back. Wilma is in the greenhouse. You can clearly see her like repotting a plant. And Flora is unpacking from a paper bag her spools of ribbon. And of course, Flora is the first one to see you as she looks up. Well, hi there. I see you've returned. Are you in need of a hat?
Well, I was just thinking I'd take a look and see what you had.
Oh, of course. I have plenty to choose from. Lovely dresses. And, of course, we can always get dried flowers over from Wilma over there. She's been drying out quite a few lovely specimens over there. Um, but yeah, plenty of dresses, plenty of hats.
Can I
have
hang
one of
out?
those?
Oh, sorry. Can I hang out outside and just wait to see Dorothy get off work?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Okay.
You're waiting outside, gazing down the street. And I will say, at this point, you do see Dorothy leave, and I will let you peruse the lovely, various light and lovely sundresses and beautiful hats with various flowers and ribbons all over them. And yeah, Dorothy runs over to you. Finally got off work. So your adventure.
Oh, Dorothy, it was insane. I killed a salamander, the biggest lizard you've ever seen. I met friends. I saved their lives. It was amazing.
That certainly does sound exciting and actually in a good way, unlike Dunstan's last relationship. Um
Oh.
that was certainly exciting, but not in the way that you want it to be. Um yeah. And she kind of reaches out and pats you on the shoulder. You really dodged a bullet with that one.
I really did. He's so handsome though.
Ah,
Well, I am his sister, so I'm kind of obligated to say ew.
That's fair.
But yeah, a whole salamander. I heard they're huge.
It was huge, the biggest thing I've ever seen.
That is amazing.
I think
And to think,
I might be a real monster hunter now. I might actually be able to actually claim that title.
oh, wonderful. I can't wait to say that I know a monster hunter.
in the store, Blanchus is just gonna ask if they can make a flower crown.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
Flora
love that.
goes, oh, yes, Wilma, oh, Wilma. And Wilma comes out. Yeah, how can I help you?
Hi. I was wondering if I could commission a flower crown.
Oh, most certainly. That's one of my specialties, or at least I put them around hats generally. But I can make one just for your head. Of course. Come on, let's pick out some flowers. And there's lovely like daisies and goldenrods and tulips and baby's breath and other things like that. And she lets you pick as she starts weaving them together. And you do get a flower crown.
Yay.
Um,
Chauncey's just inspecting the dresses and hats with like he's not a bubbly person typically, like unless he's like giving people something he made. This is just the eyes of someone sizing up like potential competition
yep.
because he also makes things. But
Yeah.
also like not like super judgy or like mean coming off the bat. He's kind of just inspecting the quality
Yeah.
and getting a feel for what's in style and popular in this town.
Yeah, definitely a lot of sundresses, definitely a lot of floral prints, light floral prints, I should say, like embroidery that's thread that's the same color as the fabric so that it's raised and the shadows are the things that reveal it. Tiny itty bitty little flowers spaced out very far apart so that it has a little bit of color to it, but it's still pretty white or cream or light baby pink. It's very much a lot of pastels, things of that nature. And I will say that her seamstress talents are ever so slightly worse than yours.
Ooh.
She could go toe to toe with you, but there's some things that just are lacking a little bit that she may need a little bit of a guiding hand for. But otherwise, she's a pretty good seamstress.
Blanchard just pops up right behind Chauncey, looking at the clothes, and he's like, "Oh, these are perfect!" And he picks out clothes with patterns similar to the flowers that he has in his new crown.
I'm gonna say, yeah, there's one sundress with a sort of goldenrod pattern on it. They're very small. They're like no larger than a thumbnail, and they're pretty spaced far apart. But it is a nice, lovely cream colored sundress. So back
Also, just like
outside to oh.
we need to put a bell on you.
Yeah.
And the thread work, she's beautifully done, good with her hands, but does that match her complexion?
Eh.
It's a
Um,
cream colored dress with a goldenrod pattern on a pale, almost entirely white
Yes.
tiefling. So
so, I mean, do they only have female clothing?
yes, they do.
Damn
It's
it.
dresses and hats.
Dresses
What
and
about
hats.
what about coats?
No, they don't have any coats. It's all sundresses and hats.
You can Johnson just seemed like you can wear a dress if you want to wear a dress. I used to make he kind of just stops mid sentence before completing it. Never mind. I can tailor one of these into something else you can wear later if you want it to follow gender norms for some awful reason.
Eh.
And at this
Oh,
point, you
lovely.
both jump as Flora appears behind you. Oh, yes, I used to sell dresses to this very nice gentleman. He wore them all the time and they looked so wonderful on him. You can certainly buy. They're for everyone.
Yeah, but dresses aren't really my thing. I like things that have more movement to them or allow more movement.
Oh, well, that's all right. I'm sure you'll find something. And so back outside to Shaw as you're still continuing your conversation um, with Dorothy. Um, well, I should probably let you go. I'm going to be meeting Charles pretty soon. Um, but it was lovely to see you again, at least before I left for the weekend. Um,
Good to see you
good.
too, Dorothy. Make sure you tell Charles I said hi.
Of course, I certainly
And
will.
I might be head back out of town again if you could keep an eye on Granny.
Of course, I always do. I always try and pop by every once in a while.
Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, I'll see you later. And she runs off.
Just hang out outside till they're done.
All right.
The two ladies that look identical, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
I just want to go up to them as their person. It's a lovely shop you have here. How is it you two know each other?
Oh, well, that's a very funny question. Believe it or not, we're actually twins. Identical
Really?
twins. Yes, well, our father is a dwarf and our mother is an elf. And when we came out, we were both an elf and a dwarf. Um, of course, I'm the eldest, and Wilma's just, oh, here we go again with this story. I'm the eldest, of course, because I was so tall, I just shot right out. The doctors practically had to catch me midair. But Wilma, on the other hand, got her head stuck, and Wilma's just, they had to get the forceps and everything. They are first-time customers. I don't think they need to hear about the forceps.
Oh no, do go on about the forceps, please.
So does that technically make them delts?
Sure.
I mean, perhaps.
Well, isn't nature just amazing?
I know, right?
You hear Velantrios' voice in the distance of the shop, and it's like, "Amen."
Well, is there anything that I can ring up for you? I saw some of you were looking at some of the dresses and hats, and of course we
Well-
have your flower crown.
I don't know. What do you think? Is the pink too much with the red hair?
Yeah, it's a lovely pink hat that kind of has the one side of it kind of folded so that it stays down and creates a nice swoop, and there's a big
Tilt.
pile of flowers on the other side. It's a very beautiful looking hat, and it is pink.
To take away from my curls, you know.
Well, I think with the right dress, you could pull that off. I'm not sure I really sell anything that matches today, but you can certainly commission one and pick it up later.
I think the hat'll be just fine today. I think
All
I'm coming
right. Well, the hat's going to be 5 gold, and if I rang up all the flowers correctly, we'll just charge it as a bouquet. It'll be about 5 silver pieces for that particular flower crown. So I'll make sure that everything's all rung up. And yep, you do the exchange.
Hey, y'all, my dear, and thank you very much.
Of course. Well, is there anything else that I can help you with today?
Um,
think
no.
that'd be
I'm
all.
just tickled pink.
Oh my god.
Of course.
Before we all head outside, Chauncey's gonna like corral the other three and be like, I whipped I did a little tinkering this morning, and he's just gonna like undo like a little cloth pouch that has 3 rings in it, and he's just gonna be like, I want you each to have one of these, okay?
Who is it? What are we doing?
So with the way Spencer homebrewed infusions, Chauncey's giving you each a ring.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah, I missed that part. Thank you.
Well, I mean, technically, it's not the homebrew; it's the Tasha's Cauldron
Tasha's
version. It's the
Yeah.
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything version, as opposed to the Eberron version.
So yeah, you guys each are. He's giving you each a ring that you need to attune to.
Okay.
Well, all right. Thanks, Chauncey.
And-
What is it?
Right.
You'll. I wanted to do this before we went back outside because I didn't have enough to make one for Shaw. It's a it's a ring that can help you recover some arcane energy to cast more spells in a day.
Oh, that is pretty handy.
That does sound handy.
It's a spell refueling ring, so it's pretty much a pearl of power on a ring.
Oh god. Okay.
You can recover a spell slot that is 3rd level or lower once a day.
Yep.
But it does take up one of your attunement slots.
Mm-hmm.
As like, there's a full party of casters. Here you go.
Yep. All right. So, is there anything else you would like to do before you make your way over to the boat?
Nope, I'm good.
When they leave the shop, actually, hey guys, real quick, can we have just a little chat amongst all of us real quick?
Oh.
So I know this is home for me. And I know for y'all are just passing through. And y'all keep talking about this Creator's Hollow place that y'all are headed to, and I don't really know if I'm done with the adventuring thing yet.
Are you asking if you can come along?
Maybe yeah, if just for a little bit.
Well, hell, I should have let you sweat for a few more minutes.
Well,
I don't know. What do the rest of y'all think?
well, since it seems you're so on the fence, Lyla, I think that's a wonderful idea, Shaw. You're more than welcome.
I mean, you've shown us your hometown. I could show you our hometown too, right, Virgil?
Of course.
I
We could-
suppose he does know how to use them fingers.
Oh my god, Lyla.
What? What did I say?
Anyway, I would love to show you my home as well if we eventually get back there.
So what is this Creator's Hollow place?
It's
You've
the
never
capital
heard
of
Creator's
Ponderosa.
Hollow?
It's the capital of it's the capital of the entirety of Ponderosa.
But like, why are y'all trying to go there?
Above game, I can't remember anymore.
I think
Above game, it's because that's where you need to charter the ship. They don't charter ships to the vortex out of Turtle Shell
Yeah.
Quay. You have to go to like the main offices to get all that stuff done.
Right.
Okay.
I'm also speaking to Chauncey's mind really quick and be like, should we tell him about the prisoners?
wait. Above game, what?
That's
The
the
prison.
reason we're doing this.
The whole reason.
Yeah, the whole
I literally
reason.
know nothing about any of this.
This is first episode stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I know Sean knows nothing about any of this.
Right, yeah.
So Chauncey, when Jed hops in his brain, he's just gonna be like, if you're gonna come with us, I feel like you should know a little bit more. And the psychic, whatever fucking telepathy Jed's got going on, he's like, you do have a point there. Chauncey's gonna be like, you're hunting monsters, and in a way, so are we, except the monsters that we're after are more human shaped and outlaws.
Although, if you come with us, odds are you will be facing off against a lot of monsters.
Well, that is my end goal. I'm definitely down for that. But bounty hunters? I would have never pegged.
Yeah, and maybe some more goblins in a box. Who knows?
I mean, bounty hunter is a strong term. It's just um cutting
Oh,
tying off old strings, cutting up loose ends. I don't know the parable or metaphor. I was never very great with them.
Ooh, there was that one time with the vampire. What was it called again?
Oh, the
Oh
knoll.
yeah, the
The
Knoll.
vampire knoll.
The vampire knoll.
Those were fun.
we're
But
definitely gonna have to talk about this.
Oh,
Okay.
Chauncey pulls out a stuffed vampire knoll that he made before we met Shaw.
Right.
right.
He makes
Yeah.
amigurumis of every boss fight after the fact.
I forgot about that for a moment.
Oh,
Yep.
he's already started the zombie one. It's just not done yet. He had to make the rings this morning. So he's gonna be like, well, this is what we fought. Well, yeah. And just makes it like wave a little like
Well, it was a
vampire.
lot less cute than that, but
You've got action figures.
You get the general idea.
Okay. Sounds exciting. I can't wait. Thank you. Thank you for getting me out of the city.
No
Oh,
problem.
perfect. You can help me carry my bags.
If we are going to go to Creator's Hollow, we could visit my family and maybe some old friends of ours, Virgil.
And
Right.
find out all the tea. Absolutely.
I have somewhere we can stay while we're there.
Fine by me. I've spent some time up there myself. Been a long time since I've been back, though.
Oh, you were from the Hollow too at one point?
Oh, no, my dear. No, my dear. I have clients in the Hollow.
Well, it's good to know that we have more people in common than we knew.
Belantrus is
I think
someone-
at this point, Shaw is honestly starting to look up to Lyla. She's
And
so
at this
traveled.
And at this moment, Belantrus is starting to feel very sheltered.
Well, a lady gets around. We might even know some of the
We
same
know
folk,
how much
although
you
you'll
get
never
around.
find that out from me.
All right. So are you all gonna? I'm assuming you're having this conversation as you're kind of heading towards
Reversing.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
boat. Yeah. Yeah. So you do make it down to the boat, kind of meandering around for a little bit. You make it to the last dock, where floating is a rowboat, and standing in it is an elven woman with a long black braid, wearing sort of a red tunic with a belt and almost like this sort of parachute pants. She has a sword at her side, and there is a red lantern, a red paper lantern that is hanging, off the bow of the rowboat. And as you get closer, she looks up and, well, hello there. I'm assuming you're here for emeralds.
Well, yes, my dear. That is why we've come.
I thought so. I'll take you there. Come, get in the boat. And at this point, you actually see the paper lantern turn on its own. It has an eye,
Oh,
and it floats up a little bit, and the tassel flicks itself up and waves like a hand.
well, hello there.
Oh, don't mind Oki. He is my personal lantern. And she pats the lantern, and it kind of spins a little in the air. Let me look at the name that I wrote. I am Toshiko. I am the bosun for various ships under Tusky's employ.
How industrious of you.
Yes. Well, come. I'll take you to where you need to go.
Yes, please. Get off these
Yeah, so
feet.
you cram yourself into this little rowboat. Um,
Floating over
And-
nothing. It's just like floating over nothing, right? With
Yeah.
all 6 of us just crammed in. Okay, cool.
Yep, the boat
Yep.
does like rock violently and kind of bob up and down. And she kind of kicks the side of the boat with her heel, and the oars start going on their own as it
Oh.
slides out over the void.
Never did like this part.
Mm-mm.
Everybody gripping onto the side of the boat out of sheer terror.
It's
Toshiko is
okay,
just
Mr. Shaw, I'll
laughing.
protect you.
Toshiko is having a time of her life as she's just watching you all panic and grip the side of the boat.
Eyes up front, Miss Toshiko. Eyes up front.
Yeah, so the boat continues rowing. It's probably a good like 10 minutes before it rounds into a cave, a huge cave.
Oh, I'm
And you see on some of the rocks, there's actually not quite sunning themselves, but certainly laying around are these huge creatures. They look like they should be seals at first, but they're green and scaly with fish tails, and they lift their heads, and they have leonine heads, golden fur coming out of them, huge scaly paws with fins along the outside.
Can I nature check to know what those things are?
Thanks.
Yes,
say
you
the
certainly
same
can.
thing.
I'll give you a guidance, Chauncey.
God, sorry, 1 second.
I get a 12.
I got a 15.
I'm a monster
I
hunter.
got-
Maybe I can do this. Nope.
I got a 16.
All right, so 15 and 16, you would know these are sea lions.
Oh,
Literally lions of the sea.
Yes.
no.
Not to be confused with the other type of sea lion, which is just the seal. There's about maybe 4 or 5 of them sunning themselves. One of them roars, and you see a goblin actually crack a whip, and they all kind of look. And he yells something and begins throwing meat out of a pail at them as the boat kind of slides on through. Don't mind Scabby Tom. He is the sea lion tamer. They guard the cave. But there's plenty more inside. And the boat sails on up to a little dock that kind of slides on in. Well, we are here. Come on. And she gets off, and Oki the lantern floats and begins following Toshiko as she walks up a like flight of stairs.
Oh, great. More stairs.
Give me off the ship.
Yeah, so you follow her up the stairs, and you see he has sort of black hair, spiky eye makeup on, sitting in a hammock as he's kind of gesturing towards a box where you watch as multiple oyster shells come up and they open, and you watch they're completely clean, and in goes a chunk of emerald, and the clam shell goes over the top and it floats into another box, and there's multiple of them. It's more than he can't do this with a mage hand. But he's kind of gesturing, and
I knew this is how he did it.
as Toshiko walks by, she just goes, "You really shouldn't be so lazy." And he just gives her the middle finger, and they keep on, and you all keep on walking.
As we pass by the floating, like, clamshell emeraldy guys,
Uh-huh.
and I real quick try to sleight of hand one of those out of there.
Oh my
Sure. Give me a sleight of hand check.
I'm gonna give you a sleight of hand check. Oh.
Oh no.
It was really good. Right until it rolled over.
I do a
Uh-oh.
sleight of hand check.
Can I roll a perception and then maybe give Lyla the help action?
Sure. Roll me a perception.
I would also like to do a sleight of hand check
Okay.
because I rolled a
All right,
21.
guys.
I will not be stealing.
Okay.
My
What is your
perception
perception
was
check?
only 7.
Yeah, so you
But-
can't provide the help action.
All right.
You
I got
reach
it.
out and try and slyly pluck an emerald out of the air. And you watch as this guy sits up in the hammock. Hey, you don't just take those. And
What? I
clam
just
shells
wanted
just
to
start
look.
flying at you as it seems they just rise up and are just
Oh,
being
oh,
flung at you. And
oh,
at that
my.
moment, that's when you, Velantrios, come up and just snatch a small emerald out of the air. That emerald is probably only worth about 1 gold piece. It's pretty small, but you just snatch it out of the air.
And I'm like, Lila, you don't steal from people.
Mhm. I just wanted to see the quality.
Uh-huh.
And you watch as this guy kind of lays back down and keeps making the gesture as these clamshells get picked up off the ground and put back in the box. And as you continue along, you hear voices from a sort of hallway offshoot. It's a stairway that goes up to something coming down as there's a lantern. And coming out of this hole in the wall is a crab man. And following behind him is a very familiar looking figure to one of you. She is dressed mostly in green and copper. She has snakes for hair, scales across her face, golden eyes. As she is flipping through some notebooks, Chauncey, you would recognize this as Hortensia from back at the lab. And she looks up and looks directly at you and, Chauncey? And that's where we're going to end this week's episode. So join us next week as we continue to figure out what's going on with Tusky's little organization.